Hello, today we will be talking about a piece of nonfiction called They Burn Witches Here by Ken Russell, in which they talk about the witch hunts that still happen in Papua New Guinea, specifically the murder of Kepari Leniata, which brought a lot of attention back in 2013 to this issue because they not only burned her alive, but her community also took pictures of the process and they uploaded to the internet. He also talks about his encounter with a survivor of a witch hunt whose name is Monica Paulus. She now works with a lot of NGOs saving people that go through these hunts. And the author's main point of view, or the thesis of the article, is that we can't justify these this phenomena, but we can understand it at some point. For example, when the author is talking about his views on the topic, he says that witch hunts are like earthquakes and mountain ranges. They pop up in times of seismic change. He explains it by saying that the country Papua New Guinea has been through a lot of shifts in the last century, a little bit more than a century. People have had to change from stone to steel to silicon, or from being hunter gatherers to having pictures of Jesus on their iPhones. So it's a country that's going through a lot of changes from the old traditions to the new and modern world. That is why all of these traditions are still alive and they still happen. However, I think that the author was a little bit biased on the topic, mainly because of the word choice of some of the parts. For example, at the very beginning of the article, he explains with a really explicit language all of the things that people do to these women that they kill. He also uses some really explicit images about the murders. In he, and I think that this was intended for the audience to look at this issue from in a really serious way. But also, I think that although he says that it can be explained and we shouldn't be judging it from our own set of values, he's kind of doing it by making people look at it from such a brutal or explicit perspective. Personally, I was biased towards it because as I was reading it, I was thinking, like, what kind of people do you have to be in order to do this kind of stuff to another person? And from the way I was raised, and as a skeptic, I don't believe in killing other people just because of my beliefs. And so I was really impressed by the descriptions and everything that he says. But after doing some research, I found out that, for example, almost 90% of people live in the rural part of the country. Also, according to the World Report 2018 of Human Rights Watch, 40% of the population in the country live in poverty, which can explain how they lack a lot of knowledge and education, and mainly towards about biology and medicine. And that's why they need this sort of witch stuff to explain the death of the people, and that's why they kill them. And also, after reading this part of an interview to a man that formed part of a killing mob, he says that he does it because it's part of the culture, the tradition, it's their belief, and he feels like he's a guardian angel. And that made me realize that, just as the author was explaining on the thesis of the article, we can't really judge it from our own set of values. We have to understand that they do it because they think that it is the right thing to do, and not because they're bad people. And that connects with the main point of the article.